Hello, Perkins Coie. This is Erick Haynie, and welcome to Perkins Coie Radio. You know, we are legal counsel to great companies, but we also recognize that all work makes Jack a dull boy. And so today, here on your Friday afternoon with just a little bit of workday left in the week, we're here to explore something else. Not just for fun, but under the theory that maybe something else every once in a while can make us better. And what are we exploring today? Music. You know, we spend a lot of time using our left brain around here with our e-discovery protocols, our NEPA studies, our Seventh Amended request for admission responses, and our convertible debentures. But today, sit back. We are going to explore the right side a bit through that wonderful, ephemeral thing that has no substantive being, yet has an amazing power to unite factions, bring diverse communities together in a way to help us all explore and share in the human experience. That thing is music. And for the next hour, I'll be your host. You know, I accepted a summer associate position with the firm back in 1997 and have been here ever since, tucked away, staying out of trouble, suing people down on the 7th floor. But today we're going to do something different, as I said. This is Perkins Coie Radio, and I am honored to be your second host, your second disc jockey. Chris Rich was sitting here in the air chair last time around, and I'm going to try to pick up where he left off. I'm going to explore the same idea, except it's totally different. Chris helped us explore Portland bands that went big. I'm here to explore Portland bands that haven't gone big, or at least not big. They're the local bands, the local musicians playing in your local pub that you should check out. The local unknowns that are unknown that you want to know. And perhaps somewhere along the way a bit, we might explore the local musician's perspective on the present moment in Oregon as a musician coming out of COVID and the lockdowns. And so we're going to jump right into it. Our first band is a local reggae band called the Greenroom. They've been playing together in Portland for quite some time. They're a fixture, frankly, at the Alberta Street Pub. Their bass player actually has another connection to Perkins Coie. Seth Meyer, little known fact, used to play, or maybe I think still does play, Ultimate Frisbee with Stephen Feldman, and he's a great bass player. You'll see him in the video. This is the Greenroom and a reggae piece called All Things Will Change, here on Perkins Coie Radio.
Keep an open mind. All things will change. Give it opinion, making decisions out of love. Instead they squabble over monetary gain. Disconnected from the wreckage. No wonder send the message, leaving millions left to suffer in their way. But the beauty that I see within humanity will forever be a light within our reach. To the lovers and dreamers, the artists and healers, continue with the message that you teach. God, we've got to face the thing. Love is the only way. All things will change, give it time. Nothing stays the same, find a peace of mind. Things will change, give it time. You got to be prepared, keep an open mind. Things will change, give it time. Nothing stays the same, find a peace of mind. Things will change, give it time. You got to be prepared now. Take it.
Well, welcome back, and I am delighted to be here with you on this beautiful Friday afternoon. And I am joined here by Andy Roof. Andy Roof is a bass player. He's a bass player with the band. If you haven't heard of them, you should check them out, The Groove Cabin. Good afternoon, Andy.
Good afternoon, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Hey, now you do music as a side hustle or a side fun thing. It's not your main gig, is that right?
Correct.
And what is your day job, Andy?
I am a physical therapist.
And now this band, The Groove Cabin, as I understand it, you guys are a bunch of mostly medical professionals. We got some ER docs from Providence, Portland, and Providence, Emmanuel. But tell me a little bit about your band.
Well, it was a group of buddies that got interested in just kind of jamming in each other's garages almost 15 years ago. And there's been a little bit of a rotating cast of characters, but it has morphed into a pretty steady lineup for the last 6 years of 5 of us. And we're all, kind of family guys and have straight jobs, but are super passionate about listening to music and writing music and playing out in the greater Portland, Bend, and Hood River area. It was something that just kind of started in a garage and has kind of morphed into something that we take a little bit more seriously, but not too seriously. And we've recorded two albums worth of original music and have a couple of live albums that were basically just mastered soundboard recordings from live gigs that we've done.
Now, as a medical professional, and I think our listeners here today who are all either lawyers or legal professionals can appreciate the virtue of a good life balance with work and play. And I know I'm probably throwing you a softball here, but tell me, if you would, how, if at all, music has allowed you to kind of find that balance between the struggles of a professional and wanting to play hard when you can.
Well, I would say just having any type of creative outlet like playing music just seems to be I don't know, it's good for your brain. It's a stress reliever. It's always fun. We practice every week, pretty much Wednesday nights. And, you've worked for 3 days, you're kind of tired, you go home, you have dinner. Sometimes you're dragging yourself to practice, but within the first song, just kind of the stoke level rises up and you're there to play, and it just kind of energizes you for the rest of the work week. I think also just having that creative outlet is really helpful, and I can't really tell you why, but is helpful for improving, just brain activity or thought processes in the workplace when you're trying to be analytical. So it's something about that left brain, right brain activation and synergy that I feel ever since I started playing music with this band. I became a more effective physical therapist. Again, I can't tell you why. It just has something to do with, I guess, brain stimulation.
Now, the Groove Cabin, you played recently at The Red. I think it's over on Salmon. It's this nice venue. It's kind of this cool pocket of Portland's central east side. And you captured the show, and it is in the form of an album online. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
And for those listening, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to that album in case you'd like to check it out in the sidebar for this presentation. But Andy, we've got an original here we're going to play. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, this is a song that one of our guitar players, Ryan Brevard, wrote, and that we worked up only about 7 months ago or so, but it kind of instantly stuck in the repertoire. It's really fun to play, just kind of a classic, honky-tonk bar rock and roll tune. And so this was probably one of the first times we played it out live, and it's now pretty much deep in our rotation when we play out live.
Great. And what's the name of the tune?
This is called This Ain't Heaven.
Well, This Ain't Heaven. You heard it here, folks. Perkins Coie Radio, The Groove Cabin.
In this goddamn heat, there's crazy folks roaming wild in the street, and I can't breathe and I can't sleep. This ain't heaven. You look at me through them smoke blue eyes, but there's fire inside my head. Makes me smile like a baby and drink all day. This ain't heaven. Ooh, won't you find some peace for me? Take me out to the edge of the woods and you see. And I'm no sinner and I'm no saint, I'm a good man. And you're no angel and you'll soon find you're my good time. Yeah, good time. Devil always keeping us cool, but the fire it breaks and the ghost returns to say heaven. He took a drag off that lucky strike. He hit the gears and lit up the night, and he pointed west and he never returned to say heaven. Ooh, won't you find some peace for me? me out to the edge of the woods and you see that I'm no sinner and I'm no saint. I'm a good man. You're no angel and you'll soon find you're my good time. Yeah, good time.
That was the Groove Cabin and That Ain't Heaven. And I still have on the line here with us on this Friday afternoon, Andy Roof, the bass player for the band we just heard, the Groove Cabin. Oh, and by the way, Andy, just last weekend, MFOG, Music Festival of the Gorge. I don't know if any of our listeners went to that, but Groove Cabin was part of that presentation last weekend, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
And I know you've been part of that out there in the Gorge. Could you just speak to just a second about Music Festival of the Gorge, what that is and what you're trying to do?
Yeah, the Music Festival of the Gorge is a fundraising free concert open to the community that we hold usually once a year in the summer. We have done a winter version of it, but it's essentially a fundraiser for the Hood River Valley School District music programs. And we do it in partnership with Arts and Education in the Gorge, which is a nonprofit that helps bring all types of artistic and musical lessons to school district school children. And we're also partnered with the Matt Klee Foundation, which is a nonprofit set up in memory of Matt Klee, who was a beloved Hood River resident who died way too young, and his family formed a nonprofit and wanted to raise money and start giving back to the community. So it's kind of this amalgamation of interests that are playing music in his memory and with the good cause of raising money to put instruments and instruction in the hands of local school children. And so we've been at it. We had a little bit of a hiccup for a few years due to COVID, but we just did our sixth, full-blown music fest over the last 8 years.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for doing that. And speaking of COVID, if I can ask a little bit of an off-topic question, somewhat on topic, but, we all did just go through this COVID experience, and it had a way of separating people, certainly musicians from their audiences, but people from people. And we mentioned earlier the performance at the Red, and I know your band gigs around Portland and the Gorge, but Just from the perspective of a musician, what is it feeling like coming out of the lockdowns and everything that was COVID?
Oh man, it's so good to be playing and seeing live music again. And, you know, it was kind of a slow roll due to these COVID flares and venues being open and then kind of tightening it up or having mask requirements. But I think we've done a good job of playing a lot of outdoor venues over the last year or so. We really enjoy playing in the warmer weather months on porches and decks at local venues and our local spot called The Ruins here in Hood River. And it has been, for both the musicians and the crowd, just a joyous time to get back together. You always know that you're a music fan and you enjoy playing and listening to others play. And then to have that effectively taken away for a year or more makes you appreciate it all the more once it comes back. So it's been extremely positive, extremely joyous, and it just feels very good to be back into some semblance of normalcy when it comes to the local music scene.
And the local music scene, they love originals, which we just heard one. They also love covers, and we've got a cover here to play. I See the Light. Give me your hit on this song.
Yeah, this is a great tune by a band called Cracker that everyone in our band is a fan of. And we started playing this, we had about a year where we were not playing out and we were just woodshedding a bunch and practicing with each other, and ended up coming out of the quarantine time with essentially 2 full sets, 20-song sets of music that we felt good about. And this Cracker song had fallen into the rotation. For one, we just like playing it. It's fun to play. But 2, it's just kind of a good message. I see the light. And that just seemed like a good message to keep putting out there during COVID pandemic times. And it's become a song that we have thrown into our sets, usually as the show closer at the end of the night.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you, Andy Rue, for joining us. And Perkins Coie Radio, here you have it, The Groove Cabin and I See the Light.
I really like to see you in your out, everybody. We're the Groove Cabin. Hope you guys have a great time.
Perkins Coie Radio here on your Friday afternoon, where we are exploring local bands that you might like to know more about. And this next band is a band that is actually not so unknown. And there's a big Perkins Coie touch to this one. It is the RAF Mod Band. And if you've heard of this band, it's because you know that our own Chris Rich is a central figure in this incredible band. Now, let me say this. Chris doesn't know that I'm bringing this up. I didn't ask him, didn't want to. And in fact, and I mean this in the coldest, most big firm way possible, for purposes of this show, I could literally care less that Chris is our managing partner. I say that because his band really is incredible. I remember the first time I watched the clips I'm going to play for you here today. I had to do a double take because I just couldn't believe it. Just so much time and effort must have gone into this, and it is just it is so high quality that you might watch this and wonder why Chris is wasting his time being a great lawyer. Sort of reminds me of this character in Great Expectation, John Wemmick, who I think, if I remember right, was like Mr. Jagger's clerk who lived this sort of all-business life during the day, but then ventured off at night to this exquisite and unique lifestyle that is very vibrant. Anyway, I'm going off a little bit more than I should, but this band has also gotten some pretty rave reviews in the press. Let me just see if I can grab a couple of quotes here. These are actual press quotes as concerns this band. Here's what Andrea Volpin of Pinball Wizard said about the band I'm about ready to play for you. It says, RAF, quote, RAF Mod Band really outdid themselves in creating this mod revival jewel chock full of hints of the good old days where the Kinks, the Who, the Small Faces, and Briscola Company dominated the British and American scene. Or let me read you one more press quote. This is from the music director of the Portland Radio Project. It says they, referring to Chris's band, are, quote, a living, breathing mod band, cracking out power pop for the people, playing original mod songs with all the tight dynamics and short chord changes of the early Who, the Kinks, and Small Faces. So here we are. Here's the first song will be It's a Modern World, and then we're going to go directly into We Want You to Know, the RAF Mod Band.
Flashback to the latest fashion, 'cause you gotta look good now.
So we're back here, Perkins Coie Radio, and I'm pleased to be joined by Henry Fields. Henry is from Portland. He's an outstanding guitar player. I've heard him play at the Alberta Street Pub and various other locations in Portland. Good afternoon, Henry.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for joining us here on Perkins Coie Radio.
Happy to be here. Thanks for asking me.
You bet. Well, Henry, as I mentioned to you, we're focusing on local bands. The bands that people should get to know is kind of the theme of this show. And Henry, you've been playing guitar, I know, for many years. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, I'm actually from Rochester, New York. Been in Portland for the past 4 years and change, and we have really been enjoying the music scene. I think it's actually a great place to play music. And my style, I come from a jam band background, got into the Dead and Hendrix when I was really young, and at the same time was always studying jazz because I kind of felt like I had to, but never quite got over to where I felt like I was playing jazz comfortably. So stylistically, I dabbled in blues, jazz, bluegrass, and feel that best is expressed to the jam band forum. That's where I feel like the most accomplished. Consider myself a jack of all trades, master of none on the guitar.
Well, so you say jam people, jam band. Some people run for the door, and other people embrace it. I embrace it. I love those long, journeys deep into a song, and I've seen you do that magically. And we've got a clip here. We won't play the whole thing for those people that might run for the door merely because of the concept, not because of the man here. But tell us about this clip.
This is at the Benson Theater at an event that a friend organized. Cape Grant did a great job getting some bands together. And we are really just vamping on a chord. It's the outro to Rogue, which is a Fish song. And I actually really love this clip because it shows what can happen when four people are hearing the same thing. Like, to me, there's a difference between, let's say, noodling and communicating. And I think the deeper layer of communication happens when the band members can really hear and listen to each other. I kind of lucked in to meeting Adam and Sam, who are just this phenomenal drummer and bass player that have been playing together for many years. So it's kind of like a ready-made unit, and just something about when I'm playing with those guys, things tend to go pretty solar. So we've been pursuing ways to play with one another. And then I found a great piano player who actually was just subbing in for a gig, but he actually fit in well. So he played some more gigs with us, and things kind of just go into a nice groove and then really kind of build to a crescendo that we're all experiencing.
Well, here you have it, folks. Here's Henry Field going deep here on Perkins Coie Radio. Perkins Coie Radio, and I am back on the other side of that wonderful journey, joined by Henry Fields, originally from Rochester, now living in Portland and playing around town. Henry, we've got a full clip of you here, I think, playing at the Alberta Street Club. Is that right?
That's right.
And the band, the full band, is called Henry Fields and the Electric Yes. Do I have that correct?
That is correct.
So we're going to hear a song, Friends of the Devil. Give us your hit on this one.
Well, this is a more rock version of the Grateful Dead's acoustic Friend of the Devil. And this style of playing it came to me in a dream, and I was really quite pleased to have it actualized and come together. The guys in the band really liked it when I brought it to them. And just a different take on the song brings it to a completely different direction, but yet pays enough of a respect to the song in its original form.
Well, thank you for joining us, Henry. Here is Henry Fields and the Electric Yes, Friend of the Devil on Perkins Coie Radio.
I was trailed by 20 hounds. And I didn't get to sleep that night till the morning came around. When I take my time, friend of the devil, friend of mine. And he loaned me 20 bills. And I spent that night in Utah in a cave up in the hill. But the devil, he met me there. Took my $20 bill and it vanished in the air. Said I'm gonna take my time, friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight. Why I cry when you stole me now. The first one's named Sweet Emily, she is my horse tonight. The second one is Prison Baby, sheriff's on my trail. And if he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in
one in Cherokee. The first one says she got my child, but it don't look like me. Now I'm gonna take my time, feeling the darkness. I get home before daylight, just might get some sleep tonight. I cry away slowly night. The first one's named Sweet Anne-Marie. She's my heart's delight. Second one is Busy Baby. Sheriff's on my trail. And if he catches up with me, I'll spend my life.
Okay, friends. Hey, I don't mean to cut that one short, but we have one more band to get to here on a Friday, and we are running low on time. That was Henry Fields and the Electric Yes in full-blown jam band style. And by the way, if you'd like the rest of that clip, which might go perfectly at about 2 a.m. on Saturday, just send me an email and I will be sure to get you the full clip. Henry Fields and the Electric Yes. Okay, friends, we've got one more band. And I won't say that I've saved the best for last, but I'm definitely going to end it here on a high note. I'd like to highlight for you the Portland band Patina. This band, Patina, has been playing together for over a decade. This is another band made up largely of Portland area physicians, and I'm thinking in particular of one of their main vocalists, Dr. Sarah Hopkins. She is a top-shelf endocrinologist at Providence, Portland. Patina is an Americana band. They play frequently at the Mississippi Pizza Pub. Here's how The Wire has described Patina. Quote, a contemporary version of The Band and a less rambunctious version of Handmount. Their most recent and third album includes an original that I will play for you here today called, quote, All I Ever Had. Now this song is not only warm and musical, but has also been well received, frankly, internationally, receiving a number of accolades, including Best Music Video at the Frostbite International Indie Fest and honorable mention at the Montreal Independent Film Festival. And so I'm going to close it out here with you with this one, Here is Patina and All I Ever Had. That is Patina and All I Ever Had. And with that, I am going to call it a wrap. This is Erick Haynie. It's been my pleasure to be with you the past hour. Our goal was to have a little fun and take a look at the unknown bands in Portland that you might like to know more about. We heard from Greenroom, one of Portland's great reggae bands. We heard from The Groove Cabin. We heard from RAF Mod Band. We heard from Henry Fields and the Electric Yes. And finally, we just heard from Patina, an award-winning local band made up of local docs trying to have fun in their free time, like we all try to do. And with that, I am going to sign off. Hope you have a wonderful Friday afternoon and a great weekend. And whatever you do, please keep the music going.